Hey, Kenzie here, health equity editor for Those Nerdy Girls. You might have seen on Instagram or TikTok recently a viral trend of people writing short poems describing them taking younger versions of themselves out for coffee. Well, I decided to take that trend, scale it up into a short story, and make it my own in celebration of Minority Mental Health Awareness Month this July. So, without further ado, I'd like to share that story with you all. It's called For Her Sake. We scheduled our coffee date for 10 a.m. in Broad Ripple. She texts me that morning asking if she could push back to 10:15, and I say of course. We both make it into the parking lot at 10:20. Her hair is shoulder length and bone straight. You can see tiny scabs from the relaxer burn on one of her temples. My hair is tied back into thick braids after I cut it all off and let it grow back naturally. She tugs at the wrists of her shirt sleeves and tells me she likes my outfit, that she thinks baggy clothes should really go back in vogue. I don't tell her that I wore loose clothes to see her today because I'm about twice her size and a little bit ashamed of that. But instead of saying anything, I settle for smiling with the lower half of my face and saying thank you. She orders a chai, our favorite, while I grab a double espresso because I'm tired. Residency wearing you out, she asks. I have to stifle the rude urge to laugh hysterically at that. I tell her no, we didn't go to med school. We are in grad school though, so the coffee still feels very necessary. She nods briskly and almost looks relieved. We probably remember how much we hate chemistry class. I grab a pastry and I see her eyeing down the same one. I ask her if she wants one too, that it's on me, but she politely declines, and again, I don't say anything. We sit down and I ask her what's new. She tells me that she started packing for college and that she decided on Notre Dame. It's not going to be easy, I say, maybe a little too quickly, but it is going to change your life for the better. She hums thoughtfully. We both take a beat to sip on our drinks. She asks me if the espresso tastes good. I say no, but I do slide half of my pastry over to her side of the table. You're very beautiful, she says, in a barely audible voice. She tilts her head and stares at me intently until I start to feel a little uncomfortable. So are you, I reply. She says not really, that she can't be because of all her scars. Then she asks me whether they ever go away. Mostly, I pause before gently adding, but a few fresh scars end up replacing the faded ones. We stop agonizing over it, and in the end, it just makes us more beautiful. She ponders this for a minute, and I can tell she's dissatisfied. She goes on to ask how mom and dad are doing. I perk up, telling her that everyone at home is fine, but we could all benefit from not watching the news so much. I know she's afraid to ask it, so I also tell her we get even more time with Grandma than we had expected. She beams wide at this, showing off teeth newly liberated from their braces. I ask her if there's anything at all burning she wants to know, that I've got so many stories to tell. She says nah. She knows that everything will work out for her good, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be meeting her for coffee. I start to cry at this. I had forgotten about all the soft and unassuming ways that I used to be confident, and I file this away as today's most cherished artifact. The tears come down in a cascade, and I struggle to catch my breath, so she reaches over and takes my hands in hers. And on that morning in a cafe in Broad Ripple, it's 17-year-old me that reminds the both of us that everything will be okay. As I try to make out whether I really believe her, I start hiccuping from all the crying. Her entire face cracks open into a laugh, and it's enough to cheer me up immediately. We both laugh and laugh, her self-consciously chuckling, me bouncing my shoulders up and down with my head thrown back. I clean my face, say that I should get back to writing now, and I'll stay at the cafe for a bit longer. She says that she'll get going too, that she has so much to do before school starts. I tell her not to forget to rest, and that taking time to enjoy her own company is a right, not a luxury. She rolls her eyes and asks me whether I'm taking my own advice. I say sometimes. I'm going to try harder for her sake, though. She rises from her chair, and I think I startle her by jumping up too and wrapping her tight in my arms. As I hold her small but familiar frame in mine, I can feel her tense muscles finally relax. She always has so much on her mind, but never tells anyone. I wish I could shake her and love her until all those unnamed thoughts teased themselves out of their tight knots and flew out of her body for good. But I just release her with a quick prayer, whisper a prayer in her ear. Younger me sighs, her eyes watering now. Grandpa always thought we'd become a minister, she says. I know, I remember, I say back. I watch her walk out to our car, and I flip open my laptop. The warmth of her fingers interlaced with mine still lingers on my hands as I type. So after a very short while, I pack up my laptop, I step outside into the mid-afternoon sun, and I go home to give myself permission to rest, for her sake. Thank you for listening.